Okay. The presentation today started off with this. Anytime during the presentation, or if I'm talking or whoever, you can send an email, you can send a Kakao Talk message, you can tell me whatever. This presentation is boring. What are we doing? Doesn't matter. We are happy to have feedback. Okay, so the topic was verbal communication issues, or things that come up. Anyway, so the goal was just to give some tips and reminders. Usually we don't need teaching as much as we need to be reminded of things. Often we just have to be reminded of things rather than taught. And the examples or the things in this PowerPoint are from issues that have come up or happened here, right? Or things pilots say or managers have mentioned. So I wanted to start off by saying something positive about the group. And we have many experienced pilots. You guys have thousands and thousands and thousands of hours there, and lots of knowledge. Or all that flight experience translates into a lot of knowledge. All that flight experience equals a lot of knowledge. Again, I like this concept of saying the same thing in different ways. I asked, do you guys know this dam? Everybody knew. It's Hoover Dam. And I said, this is like the knowledge there that you guys have. And the LIPs are giving this knowledge to the trainees. Let the knowledge out. Let it go, right? And again, maybe some guys communicate like this, very direct. And maybe some of the pilots, some of the guys, they make 4 or 5 different points and let the knowledge out. It's just different styles. So I want to talk about the style of the way we communicate, the style of our communication, the delivery of our communication. Another issue is knowing what to say in English, or in the English language, or whatever language. So I asked the group today, and I said, okay, so which is the bigger maybe issue sometimes? Is it the way we say things, or is it the style? Again, this presentation is just about encouragement and motivation. It's not about, saying this person's wrong, this style's wrong. None of that. And maybe some guys, I asked if you think in English, or you talk to yourself, or have conversations with yourself, or do you think in the Korean language? So sometimes if you do that, you find, what do we say here? Knowing what to say is important, but really the style is important too. And some foreign pilots or the trainees might ask about this as well. So some tips and reminders for your style. That's the first thing. The way we say things. Now this comes from the Human Element in Training. It's from the Aeronautical Society. And they mention this. The person being trained is a precious commodity, a precious thing. He's not just a faceless number, but a person with feelings and usually loyalty. So when we talk to, for me, if I talk to pilots, if I talk to trainees or air traffic controllers, whoever, I think of them as a person on the other end. They're the same. They're very similar to me. They have feelings. They might be happy. They might be angry. And this helps us understand each other. I also mentioned an example that before my mom came to Korea, she kind of, a few times she had said, I don't, the Chinese and the Koreans or, Asia seems kind of similar, right? But really, when she came here, when people come here, they see, oh wow, everybody's so different. So if we think of the person as a person, I think that's important too. Human communication, it's not just, saying a word. Again, it's how we say it, the style. So this is what we want to kind of encourage. We don't want to, I think that a robot version of a language might not be the best. It might not work. So some have suggested starting out with positive comments, saying something positive really helps, I think. And a lot of the forum pods have said that, like, oh, I didn't hear anything positive. Or some have mentioned this. And for some people, maybe even smiling might help. Some are very serious. What am I doing? But, a little smile wouldn't hurt. Not telling people to smile. That's kind of rude. If you think about Korean, if somebody says to you, 공부해, that might be good sometimes, but others, like higher level people, they might think, don't say it that way. So if we say, you must study, that's okay. The important thing is it's better to say in certain situations that works very well. But sometimes I think I mentioned Andrea in this too, that it's a little bit, too strong. Especially if we're talking to somebody who's been flying for a legacy carrier for 20 years, which is, again, people should be able to listen to each other depending on the language, but some styles are more effective than others. It would be better if you got in a little bit more study time, right? Or it would be better if you put in a little more study time. These sentences might work as well. Get has that meaning again of like trying, and it's got energy. Put is a little bit more serious. Oh, you've been working hard. You've been putting in a lot of hours. Or you could try these. We would feel more confident if you would practice this again so that we can see that you are fully knowledgeable in this area. We know that you're a very knowledgeable captain, or whatever. We feel that it would be better if you had or did a little bit more practice in this area. And you can choose both. Had, a little bit more polite, did, a little bit stronger there. And again, these are just choices of things you might want to say. Options. Right? We'd feel a little bit better. Now, if you want stronger, I'd feel it's a little bit better. I'd feel it's a little better if you had more practice time. Anyway, so those are some tips and reminders kind of about your style we would like. All right, now here's some more ideas on what to say. Okay, so for example, for the takeoff, if you look at this, okay, how would you express this? Maybe your brain is thinking, okay, I like this word slightly. You're slightly below standards. You're slightly below the requirements. Right? Or something like you have to follow these procedures in the correct order or systematically. You just kind of did them whenever. Right? They weren't done systematically, which is what the training department, the company wants, whoever. Right? Or this one, the takeoff of the rotation rate was a bit uneven, or the takeoff rotation rate was a bit uneven. It was uneven. Now, if you look at this this Boolean word here, you look in the dictionary, it's going to have this lack. You lack. Okay, it's most important to make the effort to try to say things, but I think there's other ways of saying this. It's kind of uneven, kind of lacked uniformity. This is the big goal: is to create a large dictionary or glossary of these terms to say. All right. Landing. The timing for initiating the flare and the control is good. Your timing was good on the flare. You showed good control as well. Maybe if they wanted to say that, that's something possible. Okay. Generally speaking, overall, your performance was okay. Well, I think that you should practice a little more. And I think that so that you don't miss any procedures. Right? I think it'd be stronger. We think it'd be okay too. Or we honestly feel we'd like to see you do it again. We'd like to see you practice a little bit more on this, or do this a little bit again, and so we feel comfortable. We hope you'll be patient with us. Okay, so I want to ask you guys to think about what are the most common comments that you make for each of these categories, right? in the Korean, and then we'll find the best ways to express them in another language. What are the most common comments that people tell each other, right? Or that you guys tell people, or that you say for each category. Our goal, I would hope, me and Andrea, is to build a glossary, to build a library of things to say, kind of like the Great Library of Alexandria, the Great Library of Aviation Commentary in different languages, so that it's a resource. So to review, to sum up, a little summary here, for communication issues, showing you that you care, our attitude, making an effort, helping each other. These are all good ideas. That's the purpose of the presentation today. But also, some guys, maybe knowing what to say is important too, or knowing maybe a correct version if they want. So for that, come in, practice. I said that Captain Kim, Captain Chun, Captain 1000, all those guys, they come up and talk quite a bit, and it's really good. It's really good. We find different ways to say things. Anyway, that's our goal. We hope we can help you communicate better. All right. I'm a little bit worried about my private phone number here, but whatever. Okay. This is the schedule, the morning coffee with Andrea. Speaking, asking questions. Right. Stress-free. The EPTA open class, this is how to register. I think Captain Bay talked about this too. Go in the e-library, EPTA. Captain Bay was also saying in Korean that maybe we could have some strategy or something like this. We could talk about the test and our experience, maybe give some pointers. I think the best way is just to practice your numbers, listening to different situations. Okay. And every month, about 5 times a month, we'll have these classes like this too, and we can come in. It's in this PA room. I'm in this room now, thinking about the future. Where are you guys? All right, and that's it. Hopefully next time I want to use this Mentimeter, but we'll see.